Back with another edition to Say That.
Good.
You know, I want to welcome all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know, I'm here with my boy B Jizzle. You know, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and then introduce your boy as well, if you don't mind.
So as what was stated earlier, I am B Jizzle. Let me put it more frankly, I am BG. First and last initials, Brian Griggs. And I'm with one of the respected friends.
Mike Jones. What's going on?
All right.
No relation to the rapper.
And don't say who.
Very glad and humbled to be here on this episode to Say That.
All right. It's great to have you, man. I appreciate you for being here, you know. And so, as you know, we're talking a little bit about currency. Is it anything specific that you want to jump off in to start it off while I'm twiddling my fingers?
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that opportunity to be able to do that. So I'll try to go ahead and speak without, too many intangibles and without too many personal beliefs. Once again, the topic is about currency in itself and the whole and the totality. There's no specificness to that. But I believe the thing about currency is it's a form of control, regardless if we're talking about this current day and stage. When you look at the idea of currency and its definition of it, it makes it to where you could put value on something. Because currency comes in so many different forms. It comes in the form of a hug. It comes in the form of a hello. It has a definition to the point to me of what's meaningful for you. There's so many different types of currency out there in this world. Now, to be more specifically in this day and age, that word currency and how it affects us pertains to, what everybody, surmises. It's money. It's the availability of funds. That's where we are currently on when it comes down to currency, So it leaves people in a point of control. Okay, because you can attain currency and be able to manipulate your surroundings from that. You can't.
What up?
What's up with it, Fed? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, bro. How you doing? Huh?
My bad. I'm sorry. I was trying to continue on my part here.
Hold on, Fed. I'll bring you in a minute. Go ahead, let him finish what he was saying, and I'll bring.
Yeah, no doubt. It puts people in that point of control. You know what I'm saying? And if you have the right amount of currency, then you can position yourself either above or below people. It's in that value system. What do you value? Right now, everybody values this paper note, It's in a position of change. It's in a position to be controlled ultimately and utterly. So the thing that I ask everybody that's a part of this conversation and the viewers is, what does currency mean to you? Me personally, the only thing that currency is going to do for me is help me play a part of this sociology. It helps me play a part of this government. It helps me play a part of what's going on now these days. Because we can't get nothing without having something. We can't get it, you know what I mean? And I'll keep currency in my pocket to get me to those points, gives me a little bit of control, ultimately doesn't bring any value to my life though. Because anything that we buy is truthfully not value unless you're only adhering to the currency aspect. That's the only thing that you can say, oh, I just bought this, I just got this, I just attained this house, I did all of these things. And if it holds value to somebody else and they're proud of you, ultimately it really means nothing because you can't keep that shit forever. You know, and excuse my French, but you can't keep it forever. You know, I value something so much more than what this idea of currency is and now these days. And no matter how you put it, no matter how you skew it, it's all about control. Because if you don't have that currency, then you don't have that control.
All right. Appreciate that. My boy Fit just tuning in. You know, I don't know if you caught the end of that, but as y'all know, if you want to introduce yourself real quick and say who you is, and then if you want to speak on what he just said, I don't know if you heard it about
Yeah, I
what he
heard
was
it.
talking about, but if you want to continue from where he was at and introduce yourself first, and then you can go from there.
It's your boy Prophet, and you know, I heard everything he said regarding the currency situation, and you know, currency pretty much is a tool. Like any tool, is a purpose of doing something that you normally couldn't do without using the tool. You know, that's all I perceive currency as. And the bigger your currency is, the more you can do with that tool of currency. And today's society, it's like, if you look at it, it's like if you think about India, they're going to like a paperless currency situation. And with that being said, if you go paperless, everything can be tracked. So that means, you know, every transaction you do pretty much is on the grid. It ain't no backdoor transactions. You know, that's what we're moving towards in society, I believe. You know, everybody wants to be paperless, or the big governments want us to be paperless. You know, and that's a scary thing, because you got to think about, if there's no actual currency you can hold in your hand, like you can trade, I can trade this ring for something for somebody else that has something of value. If that system, the bargaining tool of trade, no longer exists regarding currency, then it's gonna be very, very scary. It's like pretty much like the mark of the beast.
Okay.
Now here's my aspect on that, or my position on that. The thing about it is, that's pretty much what the world is already. I mean, what is credit? Credit is paperless money.
Yeah.
When you use your ATM card and it has a chip in it, that is a paperless transaction. The problem with making anything, like when it comes to the mark of the beast thing, when it comes to something like that, it becomes more of a religious conversation than a currency conversation. Because at the end of the day, that's what a credit card is for. That's what your bank card is for. Most transactions these days are or can be considered, or if not completely, are paperless. But that doesn't, for me, that has nothing to do with religiosity. It's more of just tracking. But that's tracking with anything. If you use a cell phone, you can be tracked. If you're playing a video game, you can be tracked. If you have cable, then you're being tracked on what you're watching, what times you watch it. That's what the Nielsen ratings are for. They monitor how many people watch so many or watch whatever show and
Right.
for how long. The whole world is basically set on a system of tracking your movements. Now, that can be used for bad and it can be used for good. The problem is the people that are controlling these, or that are sitting at these controls, don't necessarily always use it for good. But the problem for me isn't about the tracking. The problem for me is making it a religious aspect, because whether I want to buy a hamburger and I use my credit card or I use the $5 in my pocket, I'm still buying it. And if you want to track me while I'm buying a hamburger, then so be it. If you want to track me while I'm trying to order porn off of my internet or whatever, you don't need me to buy that to track me. A lot of
The religious aspect of what I was saying is that you know, everybody's being tracked and you can be tracked, definitely. But to buy, sell, or trade without currency put on one system, one global system, that means if you do anything, I can stop you from eating regardless.
True.
That's what I mean, the religious aspect. That means you do something wrong, your family starves. You can't put gas in your car, period.
True.
So that's scary.
The question for that is, what tangible example do you have of something like that? Because that can happen without a government saying, you know, we just don't like this guy, so we're going to cut off all of his stuff because we just don't like him. He didn't do anything wrong. We just don't like him, so we're not going to let him use his credit card so he can't eat. When does that happen?
Well, also, I mean,
and can they do the same thing if they put up a wanted poster of you? So you don't, like, if you go on the run, right? Now I know some unsavory people that have been in situations where they did not want to be found. Okay,
right.
But if they put up a post, isn't that the same as putting up a poster of you? They don't have to cut off your credit card or your paperless money or any chip to inhibit you from getting the things that you want. All they have to do is say that we're looking for this person, and somebody is going to say, hey, you know what? I saw them, and then give me the money that you said you were going to give me as a reward. It doesn't necessarily mean that the government is going to say, you know what? This guy didn't pay his taxes, so we're going to cut off everything.
Well, because I don't mean to just butt in, but it kind of goes to what he's saying as far as his aspect. That doesn't stop you from attaining currency. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop you from that. I mean, you still can attain some type of monetary aspect
under the table.
Secondarily, selling something like that. With the problem that I believe that you're saying is once they have that total control to where currency doesn't have to be interpersonal anymore, it is only strictly through a one aspect source, then all of those things do become possible to where you cannot literally get anything. You cannot gain anything. And you're very right. That is a very scary fact. You know what I mean? And like I was saying before, you know, currency is just strictly about control. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's about control, you know, and it's the difference between having wealth and value over things. You know what I mean? Right. It's not one and the same. You know, you can value so much other that brings you a different type of currency in perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for our day and age, what we are afraid of is that ability to be able to continue on, be able to live, feed your family, you know, get to work, do all of those things. And so I understand that topic, Fit, man, most definitely.
But also in the same aspect, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say everything is, the whole world now is all paper.
Right.
But you got your hands on $100 in five.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to go to a gas station and buy some chips, which means you're going to buy it with physical currency. The currency isn't necessarily the biggest problem with being tracked. It's the cameras that are watching you walk in. They can still see.
But what you're doing, you're making an empty debate regarding transactions and being tracked. That's not the debate, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about control. You know, we get the aspect of somebody can track you. You know, people track themselves on social media.
Right.
You pretty much give your rights up to be tracked. So that's a given.
Right. You say, I'm just
saying the control aspect of you being able to buy and sell and trade regardless. That $100 you talking about is a paperless society. That $100 bill doesn't exist anymore. Period.
Right.
You can have $1 million $100 bills.
Right.
And it's just paper.
Right.
If you look what's going on in India right now, they pretty much banned all their paper money. So it's useless. They can walk anywhere with paper money and they just might as well burn it for a fire.
Right. It's just paper that means nothing. Has no value at all. Yeah.
And they require you to put all your information, like a scan of your face, get your fingerprints, in order to use their system to bank, go to school, everything. So they pretty much know everything. So it's pretty much like, you know, I'm gonna go back to like the religious aspect. They want to know everything about. They want to update. They want to upload your body to the internet, to the World Wide Web.
Right.
Your DNA.
But is that not the same system that we have here?
Yeah.
You can't. You have to have a social security card or a social security number to go to school, to even apply for a credit card, to get to college, to get
a social security card is one thing, but you're not right now, even with your social security number, you're not attached to the web only if you allow yourself to be attached. You don't have to have social media. You can go dormant. You don't even have to be on the map. Nobody even has to know who you are on paper. You can be making.
You want to buy a car or a house.
You can still stack up cash money and go buy a car or a house. Immigrants do it right now. They sneak over here, undocumented immigrants, and do that. But in a new society like that, it ain't none of that.
Yeah.
It's knowing the difference between public and private.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Public is your identity that you use out in the world where everybody got your information, whatever, like he said, social security, whatever that. And private is just whatever you do on the private side. Like even like y'all was saying earlier, it don't necessarily have to be cash. Like we saying currency, but money is really what we mean. And money is not necessarily just dollars. You know what I mean? Money is whatever you have to offer as value. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, baby. There you go. There you go. Like that's that point that I was saying about all of that stuff when it comes down to currency. For me, it's about value, period. Because although they might go to a completely paperless currency that still doesn't dictate what somebody values in perception, it still doesn't dictate whether or not I'm gonna be able to attain this gas or something like that. You can go and do a favor for somebody, and that's a piece of currency. If we're looking at that terminology.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, the way you're thinking, you just gave up all your rights just on that sentence.
No, not at all.
You did.
No, I'm not.
Because know why? Because you said you can do a favor. If everybody's on this system, what they'll do, they'll be like, okay, it ain't no more favors because I need to keep my lights on, and my lights is connected to the system. You do somebody a favor, I have control over your lights. I have control over your food, your gas. I'm cutting you off too.
No, not at all.
You can't travel. You can't move.
No,
so all your
value.
Hold on. What we saying is like, just like you were saying earlier, whatever you do whatever you do for work, that's how you get paid. You know, it's not the actual physical money because the money don't mean shit. But it's about the time you put in. When I was laying tile, putting that work in, breaking my back, that's the value of what I gave you. And what you gave me in exchange is actually called a note. Like it says on there, it says Federal Reserve note.
No,
right.
It's basically an IOU. That shit don't mean shit. It's just like we just passing it around. You know what I'm saying? So.
But that's what I'm saying. That system right there that you're passing around, which you can do transactions under the table and not get taxed for, if they take away that, it's going to be documented whenever somebody comes. When you do that tile work, it'll be on. Like, okay, he's coming over my house. They know you're at his house now.
Look, you know when the taxes is paid? The taxes is paid when they buy that tile, when they go to Home Depot and they spend that money and they be like, nigga, the tax is like 10% on whatever, nigga, that's the taxes right there. Now, me, what I do personally, that's between me and the person that I make the agreement with. If I sell you a car, do I gotta pay you taxes on selling you that car?
No, but you gotta pay DMV.
You gotta pay the DMV.
But I'm saying, do I got because that's a third party, and that's what I'm saying. Where does the third party come in? That's the whole question. Is where's this third party? Now it's not just an agreement between me and you. Like if I come to your house and fix your wall or something, if I just patch one hole, you know what I mean? It's like $20. I'm supposed to go and report that to a third party. Oh yeah, I fixed this nigga wall. He gave me $20. You know what I'm saying? No. and then like, no, it got to be a certain amount. But where did that certain amount come in? Who's to say?
But I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm on you guys' side about that. I'm not against anything you're saying. That's the way it should be, and that's the way it is now. But if you check around China, if you check what's going on with India, we're just behind, because at the end of the day, it's gonna get over here. And if you down with just going with whatever, if they can program you into thinking it's just, oh man, that's cool, I can still do what I can do. Are we no more money? Everything's digital now. It's everything. You got to see the changes. Instead of you going in there, instead of you going to a store with a credit card or anything, it ain't gonna be credit. It's just gonna be a debt system. You just put your finger on something.
You tell me right here and now how that's going to impede somebody from doing something. If they fucking make it all paperless and shit like that, and whatever skills and trades that I got that gives value to myself, if I know, oh shit, I don't have the fucking chip or whatever the little paperless device is to get this shit out of the fucking store, and I still do a service for somebody, and I tell you, well, look, I don't have this. I just want you to pay me in that. I want you to pay me in this fucking milk. I want you to pay me in this fucking gas. How does that literally stop me? How does that stop me?
Okay, yeah, exactly. Like how can you report in taxes if, let's say, I'm gonna make a shirt for you. I know how to make t-shirts, and I make a shirt for you, and you fix my car. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I report that? If it's, let's say it's a $6,000 value.
You guys are talking, but your argument is like you're talking like you're reporting things.
No, but
I'm just saying the physical transaction will just be a different transaction from a hand to hand.
What I'm saying is that that's its own
form of currency.
It's its own currency. Yeah, exactly. It has nothing to do with what y'all count as 0, 1, 2, 3. No, it's like the borrow the system. Nigga, I do this for you, you do that for me. You know
right, I get that.
And it's like I know it's kind of hard because now, you know, with the technology, shit is so advanced, but still we can still do that. Nigga, I'll build you a computer, nigga, I'll build you a car. You know,
but I'm just saying be logical about what you're saying right now. I'm not saying don't exaggerate, like nobody's building cars for people right now, and you're already in a system that you have no control over to begin with. You don't print the money.
You're right.
So I'm just saying, don't be naive to what's going on. You can do the barter system right now, but are you living like that? No, you're not.
In some aspects, yes, because I do things for people for monetary gain without having to go to my 9 to 5 every day. You know what I mean?
But where your rent goes, can you do a favor if your light's gonna stay on for a favor?
Yeah, depending. Say for instance,
hey, hold on. Let me answer that. Yes, it is. If you know somebody who know how to make lights, you don't necessarily have to be connected to an electric company to have light.
But what I'm trying to just explain to you, brother, is that
look right here. Look at my lights. I don't need to be connected to an electric company to have lights, nigga. it's other ways to have lights. So if you know,
Khalid, what I'm trying to explain to you, brother, is that I'm trying to explain this to you, brother. I'm not here to argue about, you know, what's going to happen. You're trying to argue the fact that, you know, artificial intelligence isn't on its way. That's what you're trying to make an argument. But I'm just saying you're making an argument. But your argument is empty because you know for a fact that battery run out. They ain't giving free batteries on that light. You're gonna have to pay for a battery. So we gotta keep.
But look, all right. If my battery run out, that's on me. Okay, I gotta find a way to charge that battery. But if my lights is on them, they can cut that off whenever they choose to. If they want to cut their shit off, they can cut it off whether I got a battery or not. They can cut my lights off. But if I got batteries,
exactly,
you my own lights, then I don't need their lights.
But you got to understand, you're in a system already. You were born into a system. The only way to get out this system, what you're saying you're willing to do, is separate yourself from the system completely, which means go live amongst the jungle. That means you have to. That's the only way, because you don't understand. If you look about, if you watch the video, what's going on in India? Did you watch that video?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now what did they say? Did they say that's mandatory?
All right, look.
I'm just saying, did they say it's mandatory?
No, they did say.
Let me ask you something. Without the jungle, not including the jungle, is there people here in America? Is there a section of people that's living in public and a section of people that's living in private. You don't have to necessarily be in the jungle, in the forest, to not be in the system. It's people. It's plenty of people here that's nowhere to be found in the system, and that's living life good.
I'm not even saying that either.
Hold on, let me fuck you up even more, Fit. We got a currency called Bitcoin that is not regulated by these entities that you are, what it sounds like to me, fearful of. And I'm not trying to.
I'm not fearful of the entities or nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you facts. I'm not fearful of it.
But that is a black market currency that still allows people to get things regardless.
But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna blow your mind right now. You said Bitcoin, right?
Correct.
If America right now bans the transaction of Bitcoin, which China did, you won't be able to use Bitcoin in America.
How are they going to ban an encrypted message?
Easy. It won't be allowed to be on the system of America's systems. Easy, bro.
How are they going to ban it? Like, I mean,
China did it.
Sounds like it. Yeah. How are they going to ban it?
Bruh, China did it.
So you mean to tell me
Iraq did it?
That's doing any transactions with Bitcoin?
Iraq did it.
You mean to tell me, you know, people in Iraq and China, for 100% facts, that still don't do no transaction in Bitcoin?
I'm saying if they banned it, it's banned. You can't. But I'm saying you're talking about a currency, and you're saying a currency that, you know, that somebody made that. It's the same thing. You're being tricked into thinking something is made. That's what they're doing. That's a digital currency. You're still on the grid. You think you're not, but you are. You're being tricked. You're being programmed to be you already said it. You're being programmed right now to think you're using real money, and they got you already because you think Bitcoin is free.
But
you're already using it.
Wait. But the real money that you're using is still printed by the government.
But I'm saying you're still thinking they tricked you in your mind to think Bitcoin is off the grid.
No, I don't. My mainstay and my point is always going to be value. It's value in a sense. The topic is currency. All right. Nobody goes and gets the currency if it didn't have a fucking value. It has.
I'm saying currency only has value to what you give it.
Exactly.
Currency has value to an individual. Period. Like I said, a fucking. I can be willing to go do some shit for hugs, my nigga.
But that's what I'm saying. You could do that, but you're not in that society. You're not in that system. We can say all that. That's all fine and dandy. We know that. But that's not the reality of today. The reality of today, you smoking that cigarette, you got to pay for that.
Okay.
You go to jail. If you're in prison, those cigarettes cost.
Yeah, they do.
Fit. Let me ask you something. Prophet. Let me ask you something. You saying that's the reality of today. What would be your choice, for it to be like it is, or for it to be more of us to have more of a personal value system rather than somebody else's system? What would you prefer?
Well, what I would prefer is things to stay the same as far as currency goes, how it is today. Because with currency today, you can make backdoors. You can do a lot of things off record and get paid. You know, a lot of people, niggas out there selling nicks, whatever they do. You can sell CDs out the trunk of your car, get paid. It ain't documented. You know, you can do a lot of things.
That's not regular. You can do that without currency. You can do that. Like
I'm saying, bro, you're not understanding what I'm saying. That currency, like you're asking a question, I'm giving you an answer, but then you're asking another question. We're keeping it real, bro. You're selling a CD. Somebody gives you $5. You can in turn take that $5 and pay your electric bill. It ain't no favor.
Yeah, or in turn, I could have somebody else that teaches me how to make lights without having to pay.
Wait, but listen, the problem with that theory right there.
Hold on. I'll let you hop in right here after this. It's like paying. What I'm saying, you keep using paying an electric bill like that's a major thing. It's like paying an electric bill is not the only way to make electricity. That's not the only way to have.
But I'm gonna stop you right now, because if that's not the only way to do it, how about you let your lights cut off and you set up the system? I'm gonna have you come set up my house too.
I understand.
I'm gonna have you come set up my house too. I'm just giving you a general example. And then why don't you go ahead, let your water cut off, and make a well too, and bring water into your house, fresh water every day. Do all that.
All of that's just
not what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, if you're saying you electricity, but I just brought it to you I just brought it to you rough and raw. If you can't do that right now, you're not willing to do that. Don't debate what I'm saying.
You're saying like, why don't you just cut everything off? Because I'm not trying to cut everything off. What I'm saying is,
but why would you say it's that easy then? It's not.
I'm saying that it's other options. I'm saying we don't have to just.
It's no other options. If it was other options, you would be doing your own thing. It's no other options. You're in a system where you have to use their options. You can't go ahead and start. Are you cutting? Are you farming? Are you everything you're doing? You're getting from the system.
Right.
But
Period.
All right.
No, it ain't a choice. Hold on. It ain't a choice because you're already in it. You think it's a choice.
Fit. Okay, hold on, because we ain't got that much time. I cut him off. Let him say what he was about to say. Because go ahead.
Commercial break.
Okay, like for me, what it boils down to, well, the first question is, what's the problem with being in the system? If it benefits you at all, what's the problem with being in the system? If you have to be in the system and it keeps your lights on and keeps your cell phone on that you're talking on, if that benefits you, then what's the problem?
I didn't say it was a problem with the current system. I'm saying once you become just the system itself, and there's no other thing but that to survive, that's a problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, if that's your soul, if you completely dependent upon a system, I agree with that too. Like nobody should be completely dependent upon it.
Well, you can't sell, buy, or trade anything without being in the system.
That's what I'm saying. Is like dependent upon money and financial stuff about what they say is the value. Then that's dependent upon the system. Anytime you're using a Federal Reserve note, that's the system. Anytime you
always find somebody that's willing to.
But I'm saying the system
you
now.
Always find somebody that's willing to do what you need. If I got what you want, if I don't have that fucking chip or whatever the fuck it is, that digital system, if I don't have it right, and I need my fucking lights paid, but I have a service that you do want, and you do have that
That's
shit.
what I'm saying.
I can make that motherfucking agreement to tell you, say, hey, I'll do this shit for you. Just pay my fucking light bills for you. I'm back on, baby.
But bro, you gotta understand what I'm saying, bro. Is that
think about it like this. Okay, so the problem right now, we're on currency, and the problem right now, we're talking about the system that India is trying to implement on its people, right?
It's already implemented.
Okay, it's already implemented, and the fact that the paper money means nothing, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's the problem, that they're going to a paperless, a monetarily paperless society. Okay, the problem with complete disagreement with that is that dollar note that they have in their pocket, let's say it says $5. What if, okay, we don't want that system is bad, and they're banning that. But the government, number one, is the one who makes that money. Number two, if I take this $5 to the store and they only say that, well, it says $5 to you, but I'm only going to count it as $2, then that means that paperless, that physical paper money doesn't mean anything to them either.
Exactly.
That's what I'm explaining to you. If you don't understand, you guys are running in circles because you're running in circles. You're running in circles with a hypothesis you already hear. I'm the same thing you just said. You take that $5 in the store, it means nothing. Right now, listen up. Don't. I'm just saying because I'm not debating. I'm telling facts. The fact of the matter, if you go to a grocery store that doesn't accept cash, they only accept debit cards. You don't have cash. You're not getting anything.
You're right.
That's true.
You're right. But what if you did have cash? But they said that cash doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them what you think it is, what it amounts to, or what the value is.
But I'm saying you're just saying hypothetical questions, bro. I just broke it down to you black and white. We don't got to do the hypothetical thing.
So
it ain't like that.
What I'm saying is, like, are you trying to work towards something where if you don't have cash, then you can't get shit? Or are you trying to work towards something where you can still get what you want even if you don't have the cash?
What I'm trying to just do is enlighten you brothers on what's going on around the world, for you can know the system. But I'm just trying to show you the system that's in play, the system that you're already involved in. He even said, we have Bitcoin. Boom, you just brought the system up. They already trained you for the system. You have a phone that you're putting your fingerprints on automatically. You're digitally.
Check this out. We got a minute and a half left in this video about to end. So
let's do a part two.
Take a couple.
Word, I'm with you.
Yeah, I gotta save it. It's gonna probably take like 30 minutes. Last time I said 5, I thought it was gonna be 5, but that shit took hella long. So give me about 20, 30 minutes and we can start at part 2.
But while we're doing it, how about you watch that video?
Hold on, I can't hear you.
The
It's
full
breaking.
video of the India.
We got 1 minute.
I'm saying watch that full video I sent.
We did.
Okay.
We did.
Now,
I did watch it. I'm
I'm
But,
gonna watch it again.
All right, so yeah, so about 20, 30 minutes, we'll start it back up. I'll let y'all know when it's about done saving, because I gotta save this one, and then we'll continue it from there and we'll hop back in there.
but fellas, I'm not the debate. The debate is not with me because I don't control the system.
Oh no, it's not. We just
But I'm saying don't go back and forth with me. We need to be really talking about what are we gonna do as brothers to combat this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Instead of talking about what ifs, because it's on its way. That's all we need to discuss
That's
about
true.
combating this.
I agree.
Here's one little piece of it. It's called
Let's
the
sign off. We're gonna come back.
Black Dollar Initiative. That's all I gotta say. Black Dollar Initiative is something that's real